Hey guys, this is Post-Production Pi. A couple weeks ago I was given a job from the owners of Undefined, who are actually close personal friends of mine. They have a new product called One. It's a camera and electronics bag system that they finally basically finished developing recently. They're actually releasing it and doing pre-orders on Kickstarter, and they wanted me to make a really cool video to go along with it. So in this tutorial I'm going to show you guys just how we create the final look that you see here. Now it's kind of silly, but the majority of our budget actually went into just creating the background wall for our set. We got these little tiles off of INHABIT, but they're really cool. All we did was we took these, we attached them to the wall just via little basically like double-sided tape, and you just put it in the four corners and then put it right on the wall as you see me doing here. Now, once I basically had this scene set up, I brought in my lighting dummy. I always use a lighting dummy because I want to see how the light is being shaped around my model, and I don't want to go get somebody to sit there the entire time while I'm kind of shaping the light. So I bring in my lighting dummy, and then we go on to basically wiring the entire set. Now, where I place the wood, basically there is a little tiny, like the wood is basically elevated a little bit. And so when I place the wiring, all I'm doing is I'm pulling that kind of that wood flooring off the background just a tiny bit, and then just tucking it in where there's that little groove between that and the wall so that you can't see the wiring. That way on any of our wider shots, basically you won't be able to see any cables in that area. Alright, so I'm adjusting the exposure in the camera because it's about to get really bright as I turn on these additional lights. We're going to set up our first background lights, which are these HUSKY daylight balanced fluorescent lights that we get from Home Depot. They're super cheap. I think they're like 20 or 25 bucks a piece. We're going to use these as up lights just to add color and create a really nice texture to our wall. I'm grabbing two little modifiers just off of my desk, just CD case and a bottle of water, which I think I replaced with a bottle of honey because I need to prop up these lights, and so I just grabbed the two closest things that I could find. Alright, we have tons of boxes in my warehouse area, so all I'm doing is I'm getting some cardboard lids and just cutting them out, and I'm going to use these as basically gobos. I just want to prevent light from spilling all over the place, so I'm going to attach these to my daylight balance fluorescent lights and just kind of control the direction of the light a little bit. We're just using basic gaffer tape and taping them on. The next lights that we bring into the scene are these workforce tungsten lights from Home Depot as well. These again are only like 40 bucks. We love doing things very inexpensively, and you know, when you have a very limiting budget, you kind of have no choice anyway. So these are going to create just a nice little edge light. I'm placing it to the left or to the model's right, and we're going to use it just to create a nice edge against the model's right side or our left side. Again, I'm going to grab my tape. I'm taping the little gobo, our little cardboard gobo, onto the side of the tungsten light because I don't want that light splashing over our background and mixing with that blue daylight. It just kind of washes it out. Okay, the next light we're setting up is another workforce tungsten light. This little miniature one I think is only like 10 bucks or 15 bucks. Again at Home Depot. What we're going to do is we're going to set it up just as a rim light. So we're putting it on the ground. It's just going to shine against the back of him, we're using it basically as a hair and rim light, so it just kind of pulls him off the background. And finally, for our main light, we're using a tungsten balanced modeling light. This is just a modeling light that we use for shoots and stuff like that. You can use pretty much any kind of tungsten light in this situation, but in this case I'm all out of Home Depot lights and I need something else, so I'm just grabbing that one. So I'm setting it up to camera right so you can see it in kind of the right side of the frame right there. We're shooting it from high to low just so it kind of has a realistic feel. We're setting it up high so that it goes from high to low just to kind of create a realistic look to our light. We also want to prevent the majority of this from hitting the background, so I am putting on again another gobo on there so that it doesn't hit and wash out the background too much. Now I'm going to set up a basic scrim just right in front of that light just to kind of soften the quality of that light a bit. It's a little bit hard right now, and I know on my model's face it's going to kind of bring out some of the sweat and stuff, especially because we're using a lot of kind of hot lights. I mean, like literally like hot. These tungsten lights, they get very warm. It warms up the room, and your subject, if you don't use soft lights in the front as well as some makeup, then your subject's going to have kind of that glistening, oily look on their skin. Alright, so now we're going to turn our room lights off, and you can see the final look here, and let's show you the final effect that we get. So here's the final look on camera 1. You can see Justin speaking. We have a really nice high key background, great lighting on Justin, kind of going for a really dramatic feel. You can see that edge light on the left side of his face. It was a little bit tricky dealing with that edge light on the left side because of his hair. It was casting shadows onto his face, but just by moving it around a little bit we kind of reduced and diminished that. Here's our final look on camera 2, which is shooting at the exact same time, just off to the main camera's left side. Here's what it looks like when we're doing the product demonstrations. So exact same lighting, we're just zooming in close to his hands as he does product demos. Here's some final stills that we shot on that exact same background with the exact same lighting. All we did for these was we brought in a white gloss table, and that's what kind of creates that reflection. It reflects the background and gives it a really nice look to it. But basically the exact same light. We are able to do a little more tweaking. We shot these raw just so we can kind of balance out the light and everything in post. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Undefined has a really cool product in the One system, so be sure to check that out as well. Thanks guys.